And good morning, everybody. This is Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live at 6:28 in the morning. It is September 8th, 2021. And I've been doing this consecutively every single morning. Have not missed a beat since February 6th, 2021. And before that, since October 24th, 2020, while I was still trying to figure out a good time to do this. And I just decided it'd be a morning show because I get up in the morning and this is the only time when I have a semi-quiet house to do anything because I have a family and some wild children and everything like that. So I just basically look at something in the crypto market every single day and then I report on it or I just talk about it really because I'm not teaching you anything and I'm not bringing you the news and I'm not shilling anything and definitely not giving financial advice because that's not what this is about. This is just my sandbox, basically, me experimenting with what I'm learning in crypto, me experimenting with audio visual stuff and all that stuff. So welcome to my sandbox called Eureka Street. And the Eureka Street came about, I used to live on a Eureka Street and it was definitely a life-changing 13 or 14 years that I lived there. And good morning, Randy. And so people like Randy jump on regularly here, and we have some others, and I've really enjoyed the hell out of doing this. But anyway, I used to live on a street called Eureka Street, and it was definitely a life-changing 13 or 14 years of my life, and it's where I discovered crypto, and a lot of good and bad times in that house in South Austin. And then, I don't live there anymore, but I always wanted to remember that time. And then Eureka also in ancient Greek means I found it, And then, of course, there's that cartoon with Elmer Fudd saying, Eureka, gold at last, And he's showing his gap in his teeth where Bugs Bunny stole his piece of gold, his gold tooth, because that's all he wanted was that gold. That's kind of why I decided to call it Eureka Street. So just to give you a little origin story there real quickly. Let's get on down to the nitty gritty here and let's see what CoinGecko has to offer today. So yesterday we had like a 20% drop. And welcome to another day in crypto. If you're new here, sit down, shut up, put on your seatbelt, and just dollar cost average because you ain't going to be able to time the market. And yesterday proves that. Bitcoin went down to, I think, like 47,000 or 46,000 or something like that. I don't know. It went down pretty far yesterday. And then it's already back up at 51,000. So if that tells you anything. It's just kind of how it rolls, It's enough to make somebody in the stock market's butt pucker, but not us, not here in the crypto world, that's for sure. Bitcoin's back up at 51,168. Ethereum was up around 3,900, but it's dropped down to 3,769.63. That's all right. Like I said, we're used to that type of stuff. It will all be going back up. I mean, I know the general direction of the market. I know all the Web 3.0 development. I don't know all the developments because there's so much, but I know the trend of Web 3.0 right now and blockchain 3.0 and all the innovation that is happening in the space. And I have confidence and faith in that, in all that innovation and development and human creativity and the desire for humans to decentralize away from top-down structures, continuously pushing them down. I kind of think of like a piston and in the cylinder. Centralized structures want to create that cylinder structure around as they continuously press us down, but that cylinder structure doesn't really hold humanity, and the walls are very thin, so humanity just pours out the sides with innovation. We're unable to be contained, and so that's kind of Web 3.0 right now, and this whole push towards decentralization. And it's kind of an interesting back and forth. The more we want to decentralize, the more top-down structures and authorities and three-letter government agencies want to centralize us. And Yeah, I mean, I was explaining decentralized IDs to a friend, and I was just like, "This is amazing. It can be really awesome to have your own data and to be able to to have your data ID card where that has your transcript and your work history and your medical information and everything like that that you own, as long as there's no back door on that, and that's the problem is." All these centralized agencies and government agencies are trying to make sure that there's a back door on that, and that in order to even obtain something like that, like an ID like that, that you would have to allow them complete 100% access to it, and that would be devastating. If we had uh, centralized control over all that information, and it wasn't within our individual control. So it's a double-edged sword. Crypto is a double-edged sword in that way. Are we going to go completely decentralized and own all our digital money as a fungible asset, something that we can trade back and forth independently of any large centralized controlling agency, or will it be a central bank digital currency coin, which is airdropped to us every month, and we're told how to spend it, when to spend it, how fast to spend it. Our social credit score will determine how much we get and where we can spend that money, whether or not we have the JAB in our arm, or whether or not we're on probation, and who knows, whether or not we said something that they didn't like on Twitter or Instagram. I mean, the sky's the limit on the stuff that they can do with the CBDC. So CBDCs are very dangerous. So we want to definitely move towards decentralization in everything we do. So it's a constant back and forth, a butting of heads and a struggle in this crypto space. And it's exciting. And that's what keeps me coming back every single day, is this exciting tension that's going on all times. And yeah, it's better than any movie for sure, and every time I pick up an article, read something new about some new development, then see the back and forth. I see El Salvador bought 200 Bitcoin yesterday, and then SEC and the government's reaction to that type of stuff. It's just, I mean, God, man, it's just a constant drama. It's better than any telenovela, that's for sure. All right, so Cardano's at 267, Binance Coin's at 472.16. Tether is a stable coin, it's pegged to $1. XRP $1.30, Solana 187.17, Dogecoin 28 cents, Polkadot 32.71, USDC is another stable coin, 99 cents. Chainlink retraced from $35 to $32, and I think it retraced to $31 or something like that yesterday. I mean, it's insane. If you call that, people say, "Oh my God, see, we told you Chainlink is just going to drop back to..." No, it doesn't. I mean, it dropped down to like $30. If that's now a drop, I mean, Chainlink is on its way up for sure. Anyway, that's my opinion, man. Bitcoin Cash 741.07, Uniswap 26.80, Litecoin 207.97, Binance USD is stable coin. See all these stable coins up here, they're all pegged to $1. But the problem is, and I don't even know if a lot of these assets are rising in as much as the dollar's falling. It's like, I work in manufacturing, and I've had to put out 3 price increases so far this year, and we've the materials pricing for the products we make has gone up by over 34%, not including this price increase yesterday. And I'm having to dish out. We've only increased our prices a total of 2 5% increases and 1 11% increase. So this 21% out of 31. We're trying to absorb some of this stuff, to protect our customers. But you can only protect your customers so much. And you have to figure out as a business what you're going to do, what you're going to tolerate, what type of pressure you're going to relieve and then pass on to your customer. And you try to, as a good business person, to protect your customer as much as possible, but it's just not possible in a lot of cases. So yeah, I've done a total of 21% price increases out of 34 previously. Now it looks like yesterday our vendors gave us another 10% price hike. So I'm going to have to, dish out another price hike on top of everybody already freaking out at me. My day at work consists of Zoom calls and meetings with these people who are trying to negotiate with me about price and deliveries, and they're trying to be the highest bidder in a way, and we're not used to that in a manufacturing capacity of them saying, we'll pay any break-in charges, we'll pay any premium fee to get our orders done first, but I'm not going to do that to my other customers, and it's it's getting worrisome and scary, and a lot of products right now we are working at the very base materials, and this is plastics and PVC and polyester yarn and things like that, and oils, so it starts out at these base super ultra commodity products, and then it branches out as the supply chain starts to slowly bump like a train car. And it's we're already seeing this in the consumer end user shelf, but it's going to even get worse. Now I just got another major price hike that I have to figure out what to do with, and so interesting stuff going on. We want to protect. I don't think, because I hear some people saying, well, people are just taking advantage of that, and just kind of price gouging. No, people are really not price gouging the customer. It's there's a container backup. A lot of time, I'm not 100% sure about this because I don't really know geopolitics very well, but I know that the port of LA is completely congested, and all ports in the United States are completely congested with containers, and they can't really send empty containers back overseas, so they're just building up. And we had a container sitting out at sea. We ordered it last October, and we just now last month got the shipment, and it's just been sitting out at sea due to container traffic jams. So the price of the dollar, back to crypto, is, I think, just going down, and so maybe it's not even so much as these assets really rising in price as the dollar just being completely hammered. So you see these stable coins, and you see a lot of the stable coins in the top 3, and it's pretty interesting stuff. And I don't know, man. The more this stuff goes on from my end of things, the more I kind of put into some crypto assets, or at least put some stable coins onto some centralized platforms like Celsius and BlockFi and Nexo and things like that, and Aave, and get that 5 to 8% out of it instead of sitting in a bank. So I don't know. Hey, what's up, Blamby? How you doing? Yo, good morrow. All right. Speaking of which, I think they reloaded me up with some. Shoot, where did the chat box go? Hold on. I think they reloaded me up with some stuff I can give away. So let me see here. Yeah. All right. So we'll do a poker night crate for you guys here. So I'll send one to you, Randy, and then Blamby, I'll send you a poker night crate. I don't play poker, so I know that Theta Network has been having these poker nights go on and these poker tournaments. So if you're really into poker and you like online poker, I know one of my skater buddies, he makes a living off of doing online poker, and he lives in a nice house in North Austin and stuff like that. And I don't know, he's a really good skateboarder. He's a professional online poker player, and he's a golfer, and he's been a caddy to the pros. So, you might know my buddy then. He said, Blamby says he's a poker pro, so that's really rad. So he's a professional skateboarder. He's been a caddy to pro golfers, but he's super technical, and he posts all these angular stuff of him, golfing on Instagram and practicing his swing, and then he's a poker pro. So, and he looks like a total accountant, khaki pants and everything like that. And you can never judge a book by their cover. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, let's. Now that I've just rambled basically for 14 minutes. That's kind of my modus operandi here. If you can't take my rambling, then it's probably not the channel for you. But I appreciate you people that actually sit there and listen to my morning thoughts on this. Anyway, so I'm a member of the Bankless DAO, and the Crypto Sapiens podcast, which is one of the internal podcasts that we are now developing to push out to the outside world. So look out for that. It's a really good podcast, and they have some really cool guests on there. Anyway, they interviewed one of these guys, I believe it's Jess Sloss from the Seed Club. And the Seed Club's an interesting kind of, it's a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. And it's basically kind of a community that um, that creates, builds, and supports, invests in tokenized communities. They build other DAOs, and they kind of curate that, and they help other DAOs to be built and other tokenized communities to be built. And it's, I mean, they put out some interesting stuff. There's a lot of very renowned people in this DAO, and this is some of their portfolios, some stuff that they've made: a Song Camp, Squiggle DAO, Mint Fund, Bounty, Jump, Forefront, Global Coin Research, the First Mint RAC, Alex Token, Hui, Afro Future, Rendar, Ampled, Party DAO, Dirt, Burn Alpha Nova, and the Generalist. So there's value in collaboration and in coming together on the internet. The value lives in the creativity and the connection found in people anywhere in the world. Hey, what's up, Jaden? 283939. Today, the opportunity to work on things we love, to work from our strengths and to our highest potential is a privilege. All right. So yeah, there's a bunch of very renowned people in this DAO, the Internet Native Incubator. So what they're doing is they're trying to accelerate other DAOs and other projects to help them out and to push out things that they see as promising social tokens. So a few times a year, we bring the most promising social token projects together in small cohorts to work alongside some of the smartest people in the social token creator economy and crypto spaces. We work with a handful of leading communities and brands to launch tokenized communities and DAOs. So if you are wanting to start a DAO, or you're a potential DAO or whatever, this is something you may be interested in getting involved in. I don't know. I'm just kind of going in their Discord, and I'll show you their Discord, and I'm just kind of just being a fly on the wall. You know, so the Seed Club, or hold on, let me pull this out so you can see it. And it's interesting to just read, you know, the stuff that they're talking about. You know, some of these people are of a completely different level of life than me. You know, I'm kind of just, I'm pretty, I don't know, I'm kind of an average dude, honestly. So I got the Seed Club right there, the Hop, and Bankless DAO, Raven communities and stuff like that. This is the communities I'm part of in my Discord. But, you know, I go in here and I just kind of scroll around and I read some of the stuff that they're talking about and the projects that they're talking about. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I found this particular article here, and it's called a Wherefore Art DAO. And Zucchini Hands, I don't know who that is. Hello, fellow seed heads. Last week I asked you for your favorite DAO projects as of late. I decided to write about them and included some of my faves. Thank you for your recos, and I'm hoping to do more summaries often. So if you know of cool projects, please comment, share. Thanks for reading and sharing. So yeah, so let's take a look at some of these that Zucchini Hands here happen to pick. And you know, I love stuff like this, and you know, I might not like subscribe to everything, but it's interesting to see what's out there. All right, hold on. Let me get this chat box up so I can see what's up. And Jaden, I want to give you a crate too, now that I have crates to give. So I'll give you a poker night crate. I don't know if you play poker or not either. But okay, so how are DAO so cool? 7 DAO projects as of August and some lessons for your DAO. So a DAO, if you don't know, is a decentralized autonomous organization. Currently, we have these top-down structures of corporations and LLCs and everything like that, where you have the CEO at the top. Not so in the world of DAOs. Basically, the community all has their own I guess, input, and they share the wealth amongst each other. They have interesting payout structures where people can all vote for each other and give each other tokens. There's an allocation of give tokens that everybody gets, and they're required to give everybody else their tokens. So a lot of the revenue to the DAO can be sorted out that way. There's everybody contributes in their own way, and there's no real hierarchical structure. I'm probably not very good at describing DAOs. I mean, I can't quite articulate it out of my head, but that's what this channel is about, me learning how to articulate stuff. So anyway, DAOs move pretty fast, and if you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss them. A quote from some noob discovering the world of DAOs. Yeah, true. Okay, so the whole crypto space moves so fast that I felt rushed to write this. There are so many cool and exciting projects popping up every day that I just can't keep track, and if I don't just write about them now, I never will. You could miss them. So this week I've compiled a bunch of DAOs, or DAO-like projects at least, that have gained the attention of my eyeballs. It also just so happens that they all integrate NFTs. Cool. Oh, and I added some takeaway lessons for people looking to start or who run a DAO. As you recall from my last post, I don't recall that because I didn't read it. I'm interested in starting a DAO myself. With you guys, my readers, and spoiler alert, I was gifted a highly coveted Mirror Pub last week. So if you don't know what Mirror DAO is, it's a kind of it's a DAO of writers, and they all vote for each other, and people can vote on the writers of who will be the next one published. And it's kind of an interesting. You may say, well, that's a popularity contest, and I think that there's mechanisms that prevent that type of situation from happening. So I don't know. I've read a little bit about Mirror DAO, and I've gone to their website, but I still don't quite yet understand it. So I'm not saying that I understand all these projects I talk about on this show. I'm just kind of putting them out there. So anyway, so he says he'll explain below. Keep in mind that his brain is stewing with ideas to collaborate with readers. Okay, all right. So in no particular order, Paperclip DAO. This is an interesting one. And I don't know if you've ever heard about the Paperclip project. Of 2005, when a guy traded his way up from a red paperclip to a house. So somebody started with a paperclip and they traded. And you can go on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. There's several apps now that will allow you to trade things back and forth, kind of a payment in kind type of stuff, and barter system. Well, in 14 trades, somebody traded up from a paperclip all the way up to a house. And this Paperclip DAO is doing just that, but as a DAO. And well, their end goal is, to be honest, much more than a house. Okay, so headlines in a month: the U.S. Federal Reserve purchased by DAO. All right. So they started. So they started with the Paperclip NFT. Right down there. Okay, so people can create offers on SudoSwap via Twitter, and then members of the DAO vote on the offers. If the offer is accepted, that person receives clip tokens and becomes a member of the Paperclip DAO, and they keep going, building in value. So this is one thing that people are doing in the NFT world is, hold on, let me get this moved over, is people are buying and selling NFTs and flipping NFTs for massive amounts of value. Now, I find the world fascinating because it reminds me of my older brother who buys and sells records, and he's really good at it, and he flips records, and there's a lot of limited edition prints, pre-sales, weird marbly pink and green colored records and stuff like that, and controversial records and everything like that, and he buys and sells them, and it reminds me of exactly this NFT market, and and people are doing that same type of thing. And I don't know how you value something that really does not really have any price tag quite yet, and that's kind of one of the most difficult things, is the valuation of these NFTs, just like it's really difficult to create value for a limited edition type of record. And how do you put a price tag on that? So right now, they're on round 3, and he said, I imagine that in about 14 trades, the amount of trades it took Kyle McDonald to get a house, so that's 14 trades, they'd trade up for a CryptoPunk, with some trading for around $1 million. So these CryptoPunks right here, this NFT, it's computer generated, and it's trading for around $1 million. But they got a punk in just 2 trades. So this paperclip to this thing, let's see if this picture zooms in. So to this earthen image of this godlike creature forming some kind of nebulous cloud in its hands, to a CryptoPunk worth like $1 million. So yeah, interesting stuff. And then I don't know what this DSMB wrapped Ethereum thing is. So in just 2 trades, they traded up to a CryptoPunk. Hold on, I'm getting some Brave browser alert pop-up things. So let me just refresh this page. Okay. All right. So this goes without saying, but trading digital NFTs comes with a lot of perks over this. So here's why it's different from 2005's early Web 2.0 days for the actual paperclip. Trading digital NFTs comes with a lot of perks over physical objects. They're faster than the mail. It only takes a few seconds to settle on the blockchain. It took Kyle McDonald over a year to get a house. It's possible Paperclip can get a $1 million zombie CryptoPunk in less than 4 weeks. So you can go from one measly little Paperclip NFT, just a JPEG, to $1 million CryptoPunk, which can be actually, people are using CryptoPunks now as collateral, in a store of value. So that's one of the amazing things about NFTs, that you can't really ascribe a price to, but people are ascribing prices, and now they are becoming stores of value and used as collateral. And when you borrow against something, I'm not an accountant or anything, and I definitely don't know much about that world, but I don't think that you can be taxed on something that you borrow. And so, you can borrow something on it and live off that money, and as it appreciates in value, if you have another asset as well that appreciates in value, then to pay that back, you can borrow against this other asset and then pay that original loan back, and all this while you keep the asset, and all these assets are appreciating in value. And I think that's how rich people live without paying taxes. So I ain't rich, so I don't know. Anyway, so their value can be determined by these NFTs. The value can be determined easily determined with floor prices. Gauging the price of a hand-carved doorknob, thus the second trade in Kyle's real-world journey, is difficult. Everyone who is involved in a trade has proof on the blockchain verifying they were involved in the paperclip transaction, thus raising the value of that NFT. And they said, I have no clue how much the doorknob is worth now, or if it's even the original. So, as a DAO, they'll share the profits and decision making, but they'll also share their network reach for more valuable trades. Many hands make light work. And as mentioned, any person who makes a trade automatically joins the DAO, almost like a flattened pyramid scheme. So that's interesting. So they've decided to issue tokens and rewards to anyone who makes an offer, or as they say accurately, co-creates the story. It's not just fun to follow, it's beneficial to collaborate, like a social token. Well, that's exactly what it is. If you reap benefits as someone watching and kind of participating from the outside, I'm not reaping any benefits, but I'm watching a lot of this stuff, and it's pretty entertaining. So anyone who completes a trade joins the DAO, assuming this keeps going until they have the most valuable NFT in the world. And why not? What's stopping them? At some point, it makes sense to trade your valuable NFT to join their DAO, right? I'm not sure on the math there, but I guess it depends on the number of DAO members. But as a trader, you're getting an NFT of similar value plus paperclip DAO membership. So yeah, that's one weird, interesting way that they're using social networking, social tokens, crypto economics, NFTs, all that stuff, to create value out of thin air in a way. So I don't know. It's just amazing the things that we can create value out of. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but I did want to talk about this one, Rewilder. This one came together with this person's community of readers. Okay, Rewilder is a way to use NFTs to represent contributions to a nonprofit organization that buys land for conservation. Started by Manuel Araoz, I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's a better way to understand the idea by seeing how it came together. While Manuel was out for a walk with his sister, now then imagine this scenario. Hey, what if we could do crypto horses instead of crypto kitties, but with real horses? And then my family has a history with horses and horse breeding. Okay, wait, what if we destined the money raised by selling each NFT to caring for each specific horse? Okay, wait, what if we did that with endangered species instead of horses? And what if we gave each NFT owner access to a feed with info about the animal they help protect? And what if we added IoT devices to each animal that showed real-time statistics on its age, health, and GPS location, and little tags on the ears and the necklace and all that stuff? And then what if the animals mate and they have offspring? We create new NFTs and give them to the owners of the mom NFT. Okay, wait, that's too complex. Let's start with an MVP. And I had to look at what MVP is. It's basically a minimum viable product. Like, okay, we have all these amazing ideas out there. What is it sounds amazing, but it's all really complex. What is the MVP? The MVP is the minimum. What's the bare minimum we can do to get something out there? All that's too complex, so let's just settle on something. So he landed on an experiment to test whether NFTs could be used as a good technology to help track wildlife donations. One issue Manuel had with most charities and/or wildlife preservation efforts was transparency. He was never sure how much his contributions were going directly to the cause and was going to other things like salaries. That is a huge issue, and one reason why I don't really give to large charity organizations, because I don't want to just give and have it just be lost in the money hole that a lot of these large charitable organizations are, like United Way and Red Cross and stuff like that, that just go mainly to overhead and salaries instead of actually where they need to be going. Anyway, so that's how they came up with the simplest, most direct way to test this. NFTs sold in auctions where 100% of the money raised goes to real world land for passive rewilding. Rewilding means reversing the destruction of the natural world, and passive meaning letting nature run its course. Okay, so with the purchase of the NFT, you can see exactly how your money is used and receive updates on how the land is doing, info, pictures, satellite imagery. That's the idea, at least. NFTs plan to go on sale in September 2021. Sounds like he'll be buying it. Takeaways, inspiration, ideas, and thoughts. Explore using NFTs as a token for contribution, physical representation, and ways to fundraise. Then human-like transparency in how their donations are spent. NFTs provide this. They are a great way for tracking and providing updates. Integrate transparency as much as you can into your DAO. And then a third point is to do more experiments, ask your audience, and get feedback. The editor's note, he said he heard on Discord that this was a DAO. He couldn't find any info on that, so he's kind of cheating and including it as a DAO. Anyway, so that being said, that's an interesting DAO. I'm running out of time, but there's some other ones. Noun DAO, where you buy every 24 hours a new noun is generated, and these things are expensive. It's really expensive to get into the noun DAO and take part in it. These nouns, each one, let's see, they go for a ridiculous amount of ether. Noun 13 today sold for just a low price of 128 Ethereum. That's $418,000 at the time of that writing. So yeah, it ain't cheap. So they have another DAO within the noun DAO for the poor people like me, who don't have 80 ETH, or now in that case 128 ETH lying around to just buy a noun. You can enter the Shark DAO and buy bits and pieces of each of those nouns. I mean, I work 40 hours a week, and then I do all this crypto stuff, and I work hard for my paycheck, and I'm a wage slave, and I just see people throwing away 128 ETH, $418,000 on a noun. And I mean, I kind of get it, because now these NFTs are more than just a JPEG. They're a store of value. They're used as collateral in buying and selling and lending. In the same way that people put one little orange box on a large painting and sell it for millions of dollars. It's really not even about the painting at that point. It's about transfer of money and assets. And so I'm kind of seeing that a lot of that same type of stuff is happening with NFTs. And so, yeah. And then they have the Party DAO. Let's see here. They made an app called Party Bid that lets anyone pool together their resource with their own networks to start their own party, essentially creating their own Party DAO version with their friends. And don't worry, they can also band together on a party bid to buy a noun too. Then there's Mirror DAO, the one I was talking about before, about all the writers banding together and voting for each other, and about who's going to be published and stuff like that. It allows creators to monetize, collaborate, and build communities with their readers and other creators. So I mean, there's a lot. You can go pretty deep into the Mirror DAO, and like I said, I still barely understand all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. I just wanted to show you this. Oh, Dark Horse DAO, that's another cool one too, where you can it's a collective digital stable created to assemble, breed, and race horses on the Zed Run. The DAO was designed with a dual purpose: to collectively pool our rare prized equestrian capital and provide our members with monthly self-bred dividends. So you basically create digital horses and you have them horse race. I mean, there's just so much crazy stuff going on. I'm not even going to begin to go into Squiggle DAO, So, that being said, I will link this article in the description. And there's just, I mean, I'm looking at this just like, I don't know if you've ever seen that meme of that little African boy in the mud hut village, looking at this lady, this total blonde haired white lady sitting there, I don't know what she's saying to him, but he's looking at her like, but what in the hell are you talking about? It's kind of how I feel like that boy when I'm reading stuff like this. I'm like, wow, this is a whole other world, but it's interesting, and I like learning about it. It's just I'm so far removed from all this stuff right now, and I'm even involved in a DAO. So, but anyway, it's cool. It's cool to read about this stuff and what people are doing, and it's really creative. And maybe one day I can aspire to be as eccentric as some of the people participating in some of this stuff. All right. Well, yeah. All right. That being said, I'm gonna go about my day. I'm working from home today, so I do need to prepare for that part of my day. You guys have a good day today, and hopefully you gleaned some interesting things to talk about or just think about for the rest of your day after listening to this episode. If you're on YouTube or BitChute or whatever, give me a thumbs up and or Odyssey. And otherwise, just yeah. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and Randy for definitely being consistent. That's I can't even thank you enough for that. Definitely helps me keep going for sure. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.